All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out the Rich CELENZA show. So this is going to be about me trying to help men find women and kind of putting themselves in the right place at the wrong time. So if you're not interested in any of those things, I understand. But I'm just going to give you my perspective on that because one of my guys I was going back and forth with, we were on a Zoom call for a couple hours going through this. And he really didn't realize all the opportunities that he's had throughout his life to meet a lot of women. He just was not paying attention. And I think this happens with a lot of men. I kind of ripped off a saying when I was getting my driver's license back when I was like 15 years old. And there was a huge poster behind the teacher, and I stared at it forever because, you're looking at it. It said, when driving, scan, don't stare, which was kind of pretty interesting because it just burned into my brain. And now even when I drive, and I've driven for millions of miles, literally, I think at this point in my life, I'm always kind of scanning, and I'm always kind of staying away from cars or keeping my distance from the entire parameter of my car, which I think has helped me throughout the years because I've always been able to make certain moves that I think prevent accidents, also not hitting people or people hitting me. But put that aside. Back to scanning, and not steering. I see young people, and all different ages, I should say, 40, 50, 60, a lot of people. And I know a lot of a lot of single people too, always saying, Rich, you know what? I don't know where to find women, or they're out there, but they don't pay attention to me, or, all these things. You got to realize, and I've discussed this a lot in my Mastering Self-Confidence program, where you're walking past, most likely, unless you stay home, and you don't go to a lot of places with a lot of people, and there are people like that. But if you live in any type of major city, or you go to work, or you go to malls, or you go to, public places, I don't care if it's the grocery store, I don't care if it's CVS, Walgreens, the gym, whatever the hell it is, you are walking past hundreds of women. Hundreds. Again, most likely you're not seeing them because you're staring at something other than that. You're not scanning. Now, I'm not telling you to scan to be a pervert or a weirdo. But your eyes are not open to your surroundings, really, to a certain degree. I think in my day and age, a lot of us growing up in, say, the 70s and 80s and even 90s, we didn't have cell phones. And the truth was a lot of us were on the prowl, I think, differently. We didn't have technology. If you were interested in meeting a woman, most likely you met her out in public unless somebody introduced you to her. So you're kind of looking around. I don't care if you're in a cafeteria in school. I don't care, again, if you're at a food court or you're even at a movie theater, you're looking around. Now I would say wherever you're going, a lot of times, we're looking at our phone. Or we're just focusing in maybe on the person we're with talking. Or we're just focusing in on what we want to do. So if you're going to the mall, for instance, and say you're single, looking for, trying to meet women, you got to go to the Apple store. You kind of park where it's close. You kind of dart in. You just want to get in as quickly as possible, get whatever you're doing in there, and kind of maybe leave. Maybe visit another store. You're not looking at the opportunity of the entire mall having thousands of women most likely in it, either shopping or working there or in the food court or whatever. You're not thinking that way. You're just kind of thinking, I went in the store, I looked around, there was a lot of guys there, dudes, and then I went to Vans, and, it was kind of dead there, and I just went back to my car and drove home. Do you understand all the opportunities that were probably there for you to meet somebody, at least even start a conversation with? For one, you didn't go out of your way. Number two, you weren't even thinking that way. So the other thing that was coming up in our Zoom call we were talking about is also what he was kind of shocked at. He was somewhere where a woman or girl was giving him some attention and kind of just waving at him. And he was kind of caught off guard. Let me get some water here. So he's caught off guard thinking is that a mistake? Whatever. And he didn't pursue any of it. Again, he's not scanning. He kind of, I should say he scanned. It was more like staring. He caught her. But he did not, again, look around at his surroundings to say, you know what, this may be an opportunity for me to kind of walk up and talk to her and even just say, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Do you, whatever the case may be, whatever discussion he wanted to start with her, just building a friendship with her. But a lot of times, again, guys have to look at, in their mindset, I have to go and hit on her. I got to go there and just maybe try to get her phone number. Or what's the end result here? What do I have to do? And before you know it, again, you're bogging yourself down with all of this shit that it's just useless nonsense. And again, I'm going to start from the beginning. Scanning, not staring. In life, I just think in general, besides just trying to meet women or whatever you're doing in your life, learn to kind of open your eyes. I'm telling you, there are so many things going around you that you probably aren't taking advantage of or learning from or just observing. And I blow it a lot too with my phone. I'm going to tell you right now. And it is amazing when I put my phone in my pocket, especially when I go to places like when I was in Hawaii or Italy and certain places, I'm like, oh my God, look at all that I'm missing out on. And also having the free mind to say, hey, how can I make this environment just entirely how can I make it work for me instead of not work for me? And that's what I'm going to wrap this up with, especially when I'm trying to meet women. A lot of times, you may be even at a convention and you're burnt out, you're tired, right? And you're single and you're miserable or whatever. Again, you may have to go somewhere with somebody to a family doing party or a friend. You don't even know these people. You're kind of upset. You may even be in a restaurant or a bar that you necessarily don't want to be in. Again, back to scanning, don't stare. If you're single or you want to meet women, take advantage of every opportunity that you have, again, to build interesting conversations with women. That's what you have to focus in on. Stop staring at your phone. Stop even constantly talking. If you're there, if you're with your friends, you always go out with your guy friends. Are you giving way more attention to the men you're with than the women you're interested in? That's usually what happens a lot of times. So you just have to pay attention to your behavior. So I don't want to go on and on. Let me check my time here. No, I got a little more time, but please pay attention to these things because I don't think a lot of men, especially that are single or they could have been dumped or ghosted or just are introverts in general. And I get it. A lot of times it's hard for men to meet women in public. I understand. But part of knocking that edge off is stop thinking you have to hit on them. Just start learning how to talk to them. And how you can talk to them, and I've discussed this before on my previous podcast, just start with the women that you know now. Start having conversations with them. Forget about hitting on them. Forget about having to talk about stupid shit that people have told you that you have to talk about when meeting women. Okay? I'm just telling you that. Also, again, I'll just throw in the mall or throw in a CVS, throw in a Walgreens or wherever the hell. Start just talking to women. I don't care if you're asking them anything, if they know where certain products are, or if you go in a mall, where should I, and you don't have to purchase anything. Hey, where's the sales rag? Hey, you're walking through. I don't care if it's a Ross. I don't care if you're in a big box store mall. I don't care if you're in a curbside. I don't even care if you're at your gym. You walk in, if there's a girl working up front, just saying, hey, how you doing? How's your week going? What's going on? Just a conversation there. Just keep the conversation going, and before you know it, you'll start to realize you can talk to anyone if you choose to. Now, you may get blown off a lot too by women. I'm not going to say you're not. But, here's the deal. Most likely, if you're a cool dude and you know how to just keep a conversation interesting and you're not coming off as a douchebag and you're not being aggressive or they're not feeling something like, is this guy hitting on me? All that shit at the beginning, your conversations are going to go a lot further. I'm just telling you, and again, back to scanning. Pay attention to this shit. I'm telling you. Stop sometimes where you're at. And I do this with some of my guys. I don't care if it's in a mall or whatever it is. If they're like, and I'll stop them and go, or I'll, even if we're at the gym and I'm working out with a guy and he's, talking about Rich, I'm having a problem with women. I stop and I say, do a 360 here. Look around. And in the gym, it's kind of obvious. There's a lot of good-looking women there, obviously, and a lot of fit women. But I'm like, it's not just here. Look at you. You're only looking at about 15 feet. Look, there's a second story. There's a bunch doing elliptical, running on treadmills. Okay, look around the corner here. There's a bunch in a class. There's 50 in a class. Look over there. There's a bunch in another cycling room, right? There's a ton in here you're not even thinking about. And again, I'm not telling you have to go hit on them. But you are around a lot of women. You just have to most likely acknowledge that you are. Okay? I'm going to wrap it up there. If you have any questions, hit me up. I'm at masteringselfconfidence.com. That's my program where I try to help men find the woman or women of their dreams, even if they've been through a bad breakup or divorce. I also help with wardrobe, hygiene, fitness, and other things as well. And guys, I'm telling you, don't sell yourself short. I don't want to hear excuses. Most dudes I run into are unique. They're handsome. They got a lot to offer. Again, and I'm going to probably do a podcast on this. Stop looking at all your flaws. I'm telling you, most likely you have so many great traits to you. You have just maybe have felt that the way you look or the way you act or whatever the case is, is not right or it doesn't work. I can assure you it works. We just have to polish some things up. You, again, have a lot of... You'd be shocked at what you truly, when people look at you, how they really see you. Because I think a lot of us have been programmed to think, oh my God, when someone looks at me, I'm bald. Oh my God, I'm fat. Oh, I'm ugly. Oh, I'm pale. I'm too skinny. I'm this and that. All this shit, get it out of your head. Somebody told you this, or you programmed yourself that way. But I could assure you, and I talk about this, if I lined up 100 women that you don't know and probably put you in front of them, I can assure you there's a lot of women there that would find a lot of things about you that they like. Okay? All right. Take care, and I wish you nothing but the best.